Still ridiculous. It's Hello, everyone, and welcome to the January 17th episode of the Bench Boys podcast. Jared and myself are in the studio.
Hello.
First thing I want to point out is my sick shirt I'm wearing. My beautiful Mike Commodore apparel, Pack Your Shit Bab shirt.
Mike Commodore apparel.
Very exciting.
Pack your shit, bitch.
A friend of mine gave that to me and said he bought me a fantastic shirt, and I was pleasantly surprised.
That's great.
But yeah, so thanks. It's a beautiful shirt.
It is.
Up until like the last, I don't know, week and a half, it's been pretty fantastic to life after Babs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're killing it, you know.
Well,
yeah.
Haven't lately. After the 15-4-1 start, I think, it was the first 20 games under Keefe.
I can't believe it's actually been that long already.
I know, crazy, right?
It's actually, yeah, it's crazy. 20
Well, yeah,
games,
because it was like early November.
Yeah.
So it's
time flies, man.
2 months almost. But yeah, so after the 20 game start, it's been a bit rough. I think they've lost 3 or 4 in overtime, 2 or 3 other than that. Won like twice. Once against Jersey, who they should probably beat. Which even then they didn't beat very well.
Yeah.
Got smashed by the Panthers.
Oh yeah.
8-4,
right.
which was basically, I think it was 7-1.
Yeah, I saw it at 7-2 in the second at one point.
Like,
I was just like, holy shit.
And not only that, not only did they get smashed by Florida, it is neck and neck between Toronto and Florida in the division standings. That was a 4-point game, and they didn't show up.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. It's rough.
Leafs and Flames played on Thursday night. Not a very exciting game necessarily. It was 2-1 final and a shootout.
Yeah.
But David Riddick earning his All-Star nomination or whatever.
Affirming it.
Affirming the fact that he should be an NHL All-Star. Absolute rock star.
Big save, Dave.
Last night.
Yeah. Yeah, he made some crazy good saves.
He had like 32 stops or something
and
crazy.
Like, there was like 5 in the third period.
Yeah, and like good chances. He had Matthews. Yeah. Matthews went like, I don't know, 2 feet high, blocker side on a 2-on-1 pass, backdoor. And Riddick got across with his blocker and made that save.
Yeah.
He made a couple nice stops in overtime. He made a couple more aside from that Matthews one in the third. Just absolutely amazing game by Riddick.
Yeah.
Which for the Leafs in the last week, that's 2 Albertan goalies coming out and winning games. The Oilers did it earlier with Mike Smith last week, where they showed up. Mike Smith stood on his head. I think they won 3-2 or something. Was not a very offensive game either. But the main topic of conversation this week, especially around here, is clearly the Matthew Tkachuk, Zach Kassian stuff from the Battle of Alberta on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which Brett and I were nicely at. Jared missed it.
Yeah. Well,
like
I was watching on TV. It was intense.
What a game, especially if you're the Flames.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that whole situation, it's hard. It's really going to be hard for us to talk like we're not biased. But Oilers fans are
pussies. Just kidding.
Some are, for sure. It was fun.
Keyboard warriors are out everywhere.
It was fun being in the building for that because there was a lot of yelling in in multiple directions.
I'm sure.
I was absolutely blown away that it wasn't a 5 for fighting major for Cassian. Just because he throws 10 punches, 3 of those, I believe, being in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Whatever. You can say Kachuk turtled, whatever. Maybe. But at the same time, when a guy grabs the back of your jersey and horse collars you, there's not exactly a whole lot you're about to do.
Well, like, exactly.
Then he throws him on the ground and hits him in the back of the head the first time.
Yeah.
Then he ragdolls him around the ice. I'm not saying that Kachuk being he's not a weakling. It's not like he's 5 feet tall and he just doesn't have any strength to him whatsoever.
Yeah.
He could have definitely held his own after the fact, like after that at least. But at the same time, it's a 3-3 hockey game. You know Zach Cassian's rattled.
Yeah, just a bit.
This isn't the first.
He's fired up.
This isn't your first rodeo. Zach Cassian's an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gone red mist. You're clearly going to draw a penalty. If Matt Tkachuk throws a single punch there, I bet, especially with the fact that this was only called as a 4-minute double minor and a 10, I almost guarantee, and this is hindsight, blah, blah, blah. Nobody can say whether it was, but I bet you money if Matt Tkachuk throws a punch, nothing happens there. That is even all day.
It depends, kind of, really. It's like, when would have he thrown a punch, though?
He had plenty of chances to throw a punch.
I guess he did.
He had plenty of chances. That's why the turtling aspect it's legitimate, but at the same time, like, Cassian already ripped him down to the ice and punched him in the back of the head to start the whole thing. Like, that doesn't change.
Well, like, yeah.
But at the same time, Kachuk's looking away from Cassian for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be a bitch and, like, face him. But at the same time, if he faces him, I guarantee he doesn't draw the 4-minute power play.
Well,
guaranteed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same, right? And, like,
and he won the hockey game.
Yeah.
He won the hockey game for the Flames because he drew those 4 minutes. Not 2.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
They scored in the second half of that.
I think it's pretty impressive, honestly, that Tkachuk has, like, the wherewithal to, like, know when to chill. Like, it's surprising that, like, he's not getting over emotional there. Because, like, a lot of players aren't going to just let someone do that to them.
True, but if that's your intent to start, because that is his intent the whole time.
Oh,
like
the
every
whole
time,
game.
Every time he goes in, he's not trying to start a scrum. He wants to draw a penalty.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right? So, like,
he's trying to just rally up.
I think it's easy. I think it's easy until you do something like that and it doesn't get called. To not get mad. It's when that happens and it doesn't get called when you're like, okay, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not letting that happen again.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But again, if he throws a punch there, I guarantee that aggressor doesn't happen. That means that 10 doesn't happen. And I doubt you get a roughing.
Well, like, he would get a what's it called? The E. What the fuck is it called? Jesus. Instigator. That's not an E.
No.
But good try.
I doubt it. Honestly, I doubt there's an instigator there.
There's, like, they've been throwing out a lot of instigator.
They have, but I bet you there isn't there. Because that's Cassian versus Tkachuk. That's not, like, a lot of the time I find the instigator comes when, like, so we watched it with the Kadri one where Donskoy gets rocked by Lindgren. Kadri, third man in this instance, comes in, starts a fight. That's where I see the instigator. You know, I don't see it very often when it's the guy that gets rocked that starts the fight. I don't see that much being an instigator, hardly ever.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that, again, it's Tkachuk and Cassian. They're not exactly just guys. Like, it's not like Goudreau's fighting a guy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right, so it's
I don't
like
think we'll ever see that.
It's hard to argue an instigator when Cassian and Tkachuk are in there. Obviously, if Tkachuk throws a punch, it probably turns into fighting majors. But again, I bet you that extra rough's not tagged on.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like it's one of those things where it's hard to get too mad at Tkachuk, in my opinion. But again, this is probably biased as a Flames fan. But it's hard to argue that Tkachuk should have stood up for himself, blah, blah, blah. Stand up for himself for the code and all this crap, which I saw that around too, which is pretty funny. There's a whole lot of the talk about, like, oh, the code this and the code that. Tkachuk doesn't, fight like a man. He doesn't, this is part of the code. He's not following the code.
Yeah.
Well, saw this tweet. Pretty sure part of the code is to stop punching a guy when he's on the ground.
Pretty sure when you're fighting at someone, they should be fighting too.
That's also part of the code. You don't start throwing punches
I
till
mean,
they have their gloves
that's
off.
kind of sucker punching someone.
I mean,
it's kind of the definition of it.
Yeah, right. So it's like there's a whole bunch of like, oh, I like this part of the code, but not this part of the code. We're gonna just pretend that part just doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
Those are funny to me. I just like that point of view because it's like, yeah, not very many people are talking about that point in the conversation.
Yeah.
What has spawned from this is exciting.
It's so good. Yeah.
So first of all, Zach Cassian got 2 games for that, and I think
Which is, I don't think he should have got suspended.
I think it's about as
But-
see personally, I think that's about as appropriate as you can get.
I feel like, I mean, you kind of have to suspend him for that.
Well, so
In a way.
I've had this argument with multiple people. We can have this argument right now. I don't think he should have got suspended. Why? Because so this is not me. This is just quote. I don't think he should have got suspended. If Kachuk would have thrown some punches there, there's nothing wrong with this whole incident. He didn't throw punches there.
Yeah, you can't say what if.
So that's argument 1 for me. Argument 2, he punched a guy on the ice in the back of the head at least twice
Without a helmet.
without a helmet.
Yeah.
At least, and
Threw him to the ground.
and was throwing him around with no helmet on.
That's the biggest
He
thing
could
to
have
me.
he could have knocked him the fuck out, thrown him
yeah.
onto the ice.
Oh, he could have fucked him up.
I don't care if you're biased to the Oilers. I don't know how you can't say that's a suspension.
Like, I don't know how, like, honestly, I don't mind that Cassian would get upset and retaliate in that situation, but the way that he did it was pretty fucking just
Turn around
stupid. Like,
and cross-check him in the chest, cross-check him in the wrist, cross-check him.
slash him. I
What-
don't
yeah,
care.
whatever. But like to just go absolute red mist is not cool. Because if somebody did that to the Oilers, if somebody does that to
Nuge or
Nuge,
something.
yeah, because I'm gonna say McDavid, but McDavid's not on the same level as Kachuk.
That's exactly what I was
But,
just
like,
thinking.
I don't think Nuge is enough. Like Kachuk's in the middle there, but like it's hard because nobody's gonna ragdoll Draisaitl because he's way too big.
Yeah.
Right. So, but again, if somebody ragdolls Nurse or Nuge, they're losing their shit.
Oh, yeah.
Losing it. I don't even care if if Nurse lays some guy out and they gets ragdolled. You're nuts. If you think you're nuts, if you think the Oilers or Oilers fans aren't going to be pissed about that,
Yeah.
right? So it's just I have this very, I don't know, I have a very hard time arguing the fact that people think that this shouldn't be suspension because it should have been dealt with on the ice. If they would have gave Cassian a 5 in a game on the ice, then everything would be settled right now. That I heard out of Ray Ferraro on TSN Radio. He also had some other weird comments that I don't agree with, but we can avoid those for now. But yeah, it's just to me, I feel like ordinarily this would be more of a way longer suspension for well, first of all, if like a guy like Tom Wilson did this, if a guy like Milan Lucic did this, that's a bigger suspension. Right?
Possibly.
That's just, to me, how I feel about this. Like, I feel like it very well could have been longer. I don't know if it should have been, but I don't know. It's just a very weird incident.
Yeah.
I think other people feel like the suspension shouldn't have happened because Kachuk turtled and stuff, and it's just like...
The whole turtle thing is funny. Honestly, like, I just don't see what he's supposed to do there, especially because he's in the mindset that he's not gonna fight.
Yeah.
So what is he supposed? Is he supposed to just go, hey, yeah, just punch me in the face. I'm not gonna defend myself. It's cool. Just punch me.
Yeah.
Oh, throw me to the ground. Yeah, that's cool, dude. I have no helmet on, but it's fine. Just punch me in the face. Like,
Yeah.
Are you stupid? What's he gonna do there? If he's not fighting, you don't have to fight. Why does he have to fight? No one has to fight if they don't want to. So, like, and the thing is, I'm like, maybe in a different circumstance, if, like, Cassian doesn't, like, throw him to the ice right away and everything from, like, the back of the collar, maybe he does fight him. Maybe if there's a fair fight there, Kachuk will fight him.
Well, yeah.
Maybe on this rematch, and this is what I'm hoping for, is that they do fight. And
I
because
hope
I feel
Kachuk-
like Kachuk would fight him. Like, he's not a pussy, dude. He's fought plenty of people, and plenty of people that are bigger than him. I think he would fight him. And, like, someone's going to fight him.
Oh,
Someone's
yeah.
fighting Cassian. Like, if it's Lucic,
Somebody's
Ronaldo,
fighting Cassian, and somebody's fighting Kachuk.
possibly, right? And this is the thing, too. It's, like, so prominent in Edmonton's mind that, like Kachuk is already implanted there. Like, all he has to do is show up, and they're going to be mad at him.
Okay, so this is the comment that I've been making like for the last few days, and that it's just, as a fan, it's the easiest one. It's just rent free, baby, rent free.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk is living in the minds of Edmonton Oilers fans rent free, and it is
And players.
hilarious. Okay, I guess one thing we didn't talk about is the hits that led up to this.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Awesome hits.
I think for the most part they're clean.
They're on the edge.
Oh yeah, they're all, okay. So this is the way I
That's
put them.
just how Kachuk plays.
To me, they're pretty clean. You can argue charging to a point, like to an extent,
Mhm.
because the one that started the mess, which I don't think was the worst one,
Mhm.
Kachuk comes from like the hash marks and lines them up behind the net. But everybody that's using the term or whatever their argument is, well, he was already tied up with Giordano. That doesn't mean you can't get hit. That is not at all in the rule book.
That's like prime time, baby.
If you have the puck, you are eligible to get removed from the puck with body contact.
Yeah.
Kachuk took a chance on a guy that was busy with somebody else. That is generally how you rock someone in the NHL.
Yeah.
Every single open ice hit, okay, same thing. Donskoy gets
Right.
absolutely destroyed by Lindgren of the New York Rangers.
Mhm.
Why? Because Donskoy was paying attention to the winger that was forechecking him against the boards.
Mhm.
He funnels him into the boards. Lindgren comes down the pipe. Whammy.
Smacked him.
Just because they're not physically touching doesn't mean he's not paying attention to that guy. Doesn't mean that's not a clean hit. Because guess what? Not suspended. Donskoy got concussed. He's been out for over a week.
Yeah.
But it's a typical...
Oh, that's the other thing about these hits that Oilers fans just love to like try and make this a thing. Those were not primarily headshot that was not the primary location.
None of those hits. None of those hits were headshots.
Maybe his head hit his body at some point, but that's because he got absolutely freaking ragdolled, and he's like,
You want to talk about ragdoll? So that's another thing. We'll get there in a sec. But right, so Kachuk lines up a player that's not paying attention to Kachuk. That is optimal time to get a good, solid body check in.
Yeah,
it happens a lot.
It's like
it doesn't happen to this
how
extent.
People lick their lips and they're like, "Oh
yeah." Of course, if you compare this to like older hits like Scott Stevens, that's how Scott Stevens got all of his hits. And yes, most of them in today's game were dirty as fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
However, they were dirty as fuck because they were headshots. These were not headshots. The best one is the screenshot. I think it was the first one, or at least it was the first. It might have been the second hit that Kachuk laid on Cassian, but like the first big one. Where Kachuk lines him up, same thing. This is the first one where his helmet pops off.
Right.
But he smokes him in the shoulder. Cassian's head curls around, hits Kachuk, and then flings his helmet off the other way. If you hit someone in the head, their head goes in the same direction as the hit first.
Yeah.
Not second.
Yeah.
Not on the not on the rebound. It's the first thing that goes that way. It's not the second thing.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is his head goes the other way because he gets smoked in the shoulder, and that's momentum, right? And it's just like you can use a screen capture all you want of a hit. Just because his head is touching Kachuk doesn't mean it's a headshot. That is the exact same thing that happened to Donskoy and was not suspended.
Right.
Exact same thing. And that's the NHL does not suspend those hits. Because if you're trying to make contact with the body and the principal point of contact is the body, it's not a headshot. The problem are these chicken wings and stuff like that where you just crush somebody in the head.
Right.
That did not happen.
Yeah.
The next thing is if you want to talk about charging, that's fine. Again, on that same one that we were just talking about with the head like whipping around into Kachuk, People want to say that Kachuk jumped into that hit. Holy fuck. To jump into a hit, your feet have to be off the ground prior to contact.
Yeah, when you
Not after contact, prior to contact.
yeah.
If you explode into a hit, that is natural, and when you hit them, you're going to be off balance and your shit's going to come off the ice.
Yeah.
That's the way every big hit is.
It's a lot of mass connecting.
If you jump and your feet are off the ice before the hit, that is a charge for jumping.
And generally, you're hitting people in the head when you do that.
Generally,
too.
that's it. Kachuk's feet come off the ground after contact,
Yeah.
not a jump. Now, again, if you want to talk about strides, technically speaking, there is no number of strides that is charging. It is a feel for the game call from the ref, and the refs decided not to make that feel for the game call. It's a hard one because a lot of people will say, oh, he took 3 strides and hit the guy. That's great, but you can take, last time I checked, to skate down the ice, you need to take more than 3 strides.
Yeah.
And if you hit a guy when you get to the end boards, it's not charging 99% of the time. Generally speaking, it's from when he decides to make the check, which Kachuk is pretty far away when he decides, I'm going to hit him. So this is where you can argue the charging aspect, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that are going to argue the charge because he coasted in from the bottom of the circle is not a charge anymore.
Right.
Which is what Kachuk did.
Mm-hmm.
So charging is a very gray area. It's not straight up how many strides.
Right.
It's not straight up where he lined him up from. It's just a feel for the game call, and we can argue it was a charge for 2 minutes because there was no injury, no nothing. It could have been a 2-minute charge.
Yeah, and
sure.
I would have been fine. Whatever.
Sure, if you want to call that 2 minutes,
also
charging,
that's a way to tone down the game too.
For
right?
sure, that's a game management call if you want to make it.
Yeah, and I'd be
right.
If you want to make that, that's fine.
If you want to make that, but that call was not made,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to make that. They also didn't want to call 10 punches a fight, so we're fine.
Yeah.
The NHL did, however, in the safety department, because he got 2 games for a rough and a aggressor penalty, which generally an aggressor doesn't come from just punching people.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just that's again where it's weird. So that's all that, right? So it's just it's not easy. It's especially in today's hockey game too, where this doesn't happen anymore. I think because it's so rare, people get so offended so fast.
Yeah.
I don't know if offended's the word, but they get all hot and bothered.
Yeah. Well,
and that building was fired up.
Oh man. So that's the biggest thing for me. I fucking love that this is all happening because it couldn't be better.
Well, and it's the Battle of Alberta, so it's extra perfect.
Right.
And
it's
then
stoking the fire now.
So and then there was the comments that Cassian made at practice the other day where he said, I don't know if he knows that we play in the same division or not. I think that's exactly what he knows. That's exactly why he does this to him every time.
Yeah, why do you think that Doughty hates him?
Yeah.
Why
Doughty hates him for something that's legitimately dirty.
Oh yeah.
And he was suspended for that.
That's another thing about Kachuk is I'd say 95, maybe even a little bit more than that of what Kachuk does is riding the line but clean. He every once in a while
It sucks because everything that's in that gray area, you're like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. Oh, totally right.
And it pisses people off.
Right.
And it eggs them into penalties.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, he did this. Yeah, well, that's not a penalty. You did that. You slashed him in the back of the leg.
Right. Doesn't matter.
In front of the ref.
Plus retaliation, right? And that's what he wants. He always wants you to retaliate. That's what he builds his game on.
Yeah.
And I swear, I guarantee that especially if Chucky wants to get extra motivation or wants some kind of task or something in a game to keep him going, I guarantee he goes around the fucking dressing room and he's like, boys, who's the person that's most likely to get extremely pissed off at me and will retaliate?
Who should I fuck with
I don't
tonight?
care how big he is. Just tell me who he is, and I'll go fuck with him all game and get us some power plays. And that's what he does, man. He does it to everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe Cassian could be, cool like Doughty and just own the Flames every time that they play. Because that's how Doughty gets his revenge. He's just like, fuck you, I'm good at hockey. I'm going to play good hockey against you. And he does it every single game since that elbow.
every time.
Every single game, he's putting up points
Well,
against the Flames.
he scored the
The
game
OT
winner in
winner.
overtime. What, last year?
I think that was,
Or was it this year, early?
I think that was early this year. Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's in October, I think. Yeah.
Right. So there's two things that could happen with the rematch coming up. Right. Now, another cool thing, or two cool things that spawned from this whole thing. First of all, the dude from Calgary, or at least the Flames fan, that thought it would be funny to introduce the Oilers to Matt Tkachuk every day.
So good. This is the best PR move ever.
He tweeted out that they should donate to his GoFundMe page to put up billboards of Matthew Tkachuk's face in Edmonton.
Oh, can we put the picture up here?
Oh
Yeah,
we should do that. Where is it? I'll pull it up in a sec. Yeah. So, Buddy starts a GoFundMe account for putting billboards up. Turns out, I don't know if it was CJ in Calgary, the radio station, that decided to put him, or to get in contact with him, because they know, obviously, companies that do advertising. So they got him in touch with that. They decided to kind of sponsor this whole thing. So it turns out that all the money that is donated to this GoFundMe account, rather than going to the billboard cost, it's going to the ALS Foundation, because Calgary's assistant GM got diagnosed with ALS like a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty sweet.
So it's
nice
like, boom, that's
charitable event.
Decent.
Then, okay, so here's the billboard that's going up. If it goes up on the screen. Brett, you want to throw that up there? There you go.
It's just look at it. This is what Edmonton gets to look at.
I'm really excited to see a real picture of this actually up in Edmonton.
Oh my god.
Hopefully somewhere down near the rink.
Dude.
I don't know if they'll be able to get that lucky
Yeah, probably not.
with an open billboard, but
Think about how many Flames fans in Edmonton. Oh, they're gonna fucking love this shit, and they're gonna go and take pictures. I can't wait to see all the pictures on social media, because they're gonna be everywhere.
oh yeah.
And
You
like,
can switch back now, Brett.
it's just, that is so fucking brilliant.
Yeah, so there's that. So that's what happened in Calgary. And then in Edmonton, in response to that, I can't remember what her name was. But somebody in Edmonton, I'll pull up her name in a sec, decided to start their own charity fundraiser thing in response to this, where they would donate to Brown Bags charity. I need to find this so I can do it properly. Where is it? Yeah, Brown Bagging It. In response to this, they're donating to Brown Bagging It. I think it's I think it's a Calgary charity as well, because they want to raise kids to be tougher than Matthew Tkachuk, who are less fortunate and can't eat all their breakfast or all their food and all this blah blah blah, or don't get food to eat and all this stuff. It's really funny. I really like it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of donations. I think 37,000 or something.
Damn, dude. That's how you do it, man. Like, that's the thing too. Like, all of this extra shit going on, it's just like marketing, man. Like,
Well, yeah,
marketing these games and like this rivalry.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Like, dude, this would be the best year to meet up in playoffs. Like,
oh, for sure.
It would be so good.
So the person who started this was Sam. Her Twitter handle is @SamNYEG.
Which is
So yeah, in response to Flames fans buying a billboard, I've decided to donate to one of their local charities in honor of Zach Cassian. I chose Brown Bagging It so that kids can get a proper meal and grow up to be tougher than Tkachuk. It's very fantastic. Lots of people have been in there. Brett Wilson's donated to both sides of this charity thing.
nice.
Whether you like Brett Wilson or not, he's put in, I don't know, at least $25,000 on both sides, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's good. Like you said, it's marketing for this. The Oilers, so Zach Cassian got suspended 2 games. Those 2 games are the only 2 games between now and then when they play the Flames again. So his first game
timing.
back.
All the timing.
Yeah, so he gets suspended against the Flames, misses every game between then and the next time they play the Flames.
Which is also a long time.
Which is like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because they have their bye week too. But then his first game back is the Flames, and then they play the Flames again the next game after that. So Cassie's going to play the Flames
They play
3 games in a row, I think.
They play St. Louis in between.
Oh, sorry.
And it's,
so he's going to play
back to
3
back.
out of 4 of his games against the Flames.
And for the Flames, it is back to back against Edmonton.
So, like,
so good.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm really excited for the 29th. It's going to be amazing.
And I'm pretty sure that's it for the season.
I think they play again at the end of the year, don't they?
They might. Let me check. I'll check.
But yeah, so it's just like this whole thing, as if the Battle of Alberta. Well, actually, to be honest, the Battle of Alberta has been kind of lacking over the last 5 years, probably. If you want to look at it in that broad of a, probably more than 5 years, because it's either the Flames or the Oilers that have been shit, and mostly it's been the Oilers lately.
It's easily a decade.
Yeah, you're probably right, because I think probably the first 5 years of that was the Flames being shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. It's been.
So it's like now that they're both kind of around, and then that game on Saturday, they went in the game exact same records. Just absolutely like the perfect game for this shitstorm to happen.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot to mention too in that game, Zach Kassian had a fantastic chance after he got out of the box from his 10-minute misconduct with like 9 minutes to go in the game.
Right.
1-on-1 with Talbot, who actually Talbot played an unreal game on Saturday night.
He's really been playing.
But Kassian had a rush chance to bury, and if he would have buried that goal,
could you imagine?
The Saddle Dome would have crumbled.
Yeah, you're right. They play. Oh my God, is that the last game?
I think it's the last game.
It is the last game of the year. Fuck yes.
So like, could you imagine if the last game of the year is
so
like
good. Determines home ice?
Yeah, home ice or something.
Or it's like Calgary has to lose to play Edmonton. Lose the game.
Like I don't even.
Maybe not, but do it. Just do it anyway. Entertainment.
Alberta might burn if there's a first round playoff series with Edmonton.
No, the thing is like, as much as I hate Edmonton fans aren't the worst. That's for sure. I feel like we're respectable enough fan bases. We should be fine. It's Vancouver you got to worry about. Okay, Vancouver fans. I'm just saying. You guys fucking rioted against Boston. Could you imagine if like Calgary beat Vancouver in the fucking West Final or something?
It'd be bad. Bad times.
They'd burn the fuck out. Burn this place to the ground. It'd be crazy. But yeah, that's actually amazing that's the last game of the year. I'm so happy.
It's just really turned out nice for the league.
Oh, so good. Yeah, Vegas is the other game too for Calgary. The last 2 games.
So I guess we kind of touched on the Lindgren stuff while we were in there.
And then he did another
so last week,
this guy's a dick.
Yeah, this guy's a dick. Last week, Lindgren smoked Donskoy, concussed him. At the same time, Kadri fought him and beat the shit out of him. Knocked him out of the game as well. Clearly didn't knock him out for nearly as long. Because last night, so Thursday night in Brooklyn, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe Brooklyn. I don't know. It was the Islanders and the Rangers. I'm not sure actually where it was. Could have been in...
It was in Brooklyn.
Was it?
Yeah.
Lindgren absolutely destroys Jordan Eberle in the back into the post, or like the crossbar connector post, all that good stuff.
These are seriously the hits that rile me up the most.
Oh my God.
Shit like that.
We've talked about this. Well, we talked about this when Arvidsson got hurt from...
right. Yeah, fuck,
what
who
the
was
hell
that?
His name? Brunstrom.
I can't remember either.
Starts with a B. In
Not
St.
important enough because he's a dick, too. Bertuzzo.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. So anyway, Lindgren smashes him into the post. Eberle hits like, I don't know, his visor and like his cheek
and like
on
his
the
whole friggin' side of his body,
Yeah.
like shoulder.
So he laid down for a bit.
Jesus.
I'm sure he's not hurt, but Lindgren gets fined for that. I don't know. I can't believe it wasn't a suspension.
Like,
But because he doesn't make very much, it was like a $2,000 fine, which
like
is
assault, man.
crazy.
I don't want to ever see it, but like, can you imagine someone's face going into the post that hard? You are fucked.
Broken cheek or something
Like your face is manged,
yeah.
mangied. Like that's the most dick move.
It's not.
Those cross checks to the back like that, or like that wasn't really a cross check, but like hits to the from behind like that into like the net or the boards.
Oh my god, I heard people
Ugh.
calling. I heard people calling that last Cassian Kachuk hit too a hit from behind.
Oh, come on.
I
Dude.
was like, what the hell are you watching?
That's the other thing. Like, man, if you're like upset about the hits, like, grow a fucking pair of balls, dude. We're playing hockey here. There's way bigger hits than that out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Cronwall. Do you remember Cronwall? He just tied up or just hung up the skates here. What, 2 years ago?
Not even.
Actually, I guess it was.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it might have been. Dude, every one of his hits was fucking huge.
Well, remember, like the he got Cronwald thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like, that was one of the things Ray Ferraro said. I don't really want to get back into this topic, but like, he was talking about how he thought that hits like this had been were deemed illegal by the NHL a few years ago, where it's a guy coming out from behind the net versus a guy that's coming down from in front of the net and just smokes him. It's like, what? But what? Why? He pulled like Torres out of his hat and said like, these are hits that Torres got suspended for, and I was like, I don't remember that. So I looked him up, and Torres is like, I looked up his entire suspension record, and they were all hits to the head, elbows, just junk, like nothing behind the net like this, nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that was you.
I was like, I thought I heard the phone. What the hell?
Brett's phone just vibrated because he left it in here. Like a derp.
Like a derp.
Anyway, so yeah, that's enough of that conversation. But I think Ray's out to lunch on this one.
Long year for Ray.
Yeah. Another huge point of interest in the news front this week. Gerard Gallant.
Oh, yeah.
Fired in Vegas.
Yes, fucking
after
random,
2.5 seasons where he went to the Cup final and the West final. No, West semifinal.
Semis, yeah.
Should have gone to the West final because he got frigged by the refs.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And he gets fired. He gets fired because the Vegas Golden Knights are in the wild card spot, basically.
Yeah.
What?
What? Honestly, that was pretty much my reaction right there. Just like seeing the news, like
WUT. What?
Like, okay. And Peter DeBoer?
Yeah. So then, if you want to like add on
to make it even more
add
weird.
on to the what, they hired Peter DeBoer, who was fired a month and 4 days prior to him getting hired in Vegas,
and like hired him
the
like
San
a day.
Jose Sharks. Yeah, and they fired him at the same time. Or sorry, they hired him at the same time. It was Gerard Gallant's fired, Peter DeBoer's hired.
It's fucking weird, man.
What the hell is happening in Vegas?
I just want to see them crumble now.
So do I.
Somehow, and then it can be like,
Maybe
nice work, guys.
Now, okay, DeBoer maybe didn't have the greatest season in San Jose.
He's a good coach, though.
They were very good for a very long time. They got to the Stanley Cup final against the New Jersey Devils with a team that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing very well. Martin Jones was actually stopping pucks opposed to letting in beach balls.
How many years was he coaching there? Like
I think it was like almost 10.
7? Yeah, like it was quite a few, for sure.
But he gets fired from San Jose, and a month and 4 days later is hired by Vegas. And for those of you that forget, remember when Gerard Gallant said to the media and called out Peter DeBoer for chirping players off the bench? Do you remember that article? Do you remember that shitstorm?
It's again just like
that was part of the
add to this irony.
That was part of the Vegas San Jose rivalry stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're just
that was like the comments. I don't know if you saw the comments from Stone. He was like, a year and a half ago, I would have had absolutely nothing good to say about him. For DeBoer, it was like, that is pretty good.
That's pretty rough.
And
I
goes to show you exactly like what, like the conflict that they had with him.
I'm sure the comments weren't rumors. Like I'm sure they were legit.
Oh yeah,
there was truth to that.
Oh, guaranteed.
Especially if that's a comment from Stone.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's very weird. I'm very interested to see how that locker room goes. I'm not really sure what to expect.
Yeah.
It screams of that Vegas is spoiled narrative, where like they got to the Cup final their first year, like they just expect to win all the time.
They only know that
They're not even
yeah.
a bad team, and they're gonna fire.
They don't know how to lose yet.
They're gonna fire the coach of the year from 2017.
You guys do not know pain.
Yeah,
You have no idea.
but then this goes back to even further back to the like that Cup final run where people didn't want the Golden Knights to win
Right.
because you haven't earned it yet.
Me.
Yeah, you.
I was one of those.
I
for
was one of them
sure.
too. Right? Like
It's like, fuck you. You ain't even been in the league. You're in the playoffs first year. You're gonna like win a cup.
Yeah, not
Like-
not even in the Cup final. You're in the playoffs. Screw you.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like
Yeah.
the whole way through the season, I'm like, how the fuck are they this good? Fuck.
Yeah. Right. And the thing is, like that, the majority of that was jealousy
Oh, 100%.
from like being
I
a
even-
fan, going
I
like
like most of the players on that team.
try
honestly.
like you're a Flames fan. It's bad for you. Try being a Leafs fan. It's worse.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like,
like, I'm
man, it has been
50, like
50 years.
65
Like
years.
fuck you. But
Yeah.
then this happens, and you're like, ha, you guys are idiots.
I mean, because this could go horribly wrong.
Oh,
definitely,
very.
right. And like, I feel like it's just such an odd time.
And Gary Lawless, who is their media guy, who used to work as the Winnipeg Jets media guy.
Yeah. The fuck?
He
Yeah,
got
they have
hi-
like a bunch of people over there now
Yeah.
too. Like,
he got hired right away.
okay, I just never
But,
watched broadcasts of.
He
Vegas.
tweeted out that it was indeed hockey related. It was not
It's not
conduct.
the coach's shadow.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was hockey related. So it's like you can't even blame it on he was an alcoholic or something. Like it's absolutely nuts. And
Yeah.
if you don't think somebody else is getting fired so that team can hire Gerard Gallant, you are high.
Right. That'll come. Maybe it's the Flames.
You know, I honestly didn't even think about that.
Neither did I until I
'Cause
just said it.
Technically, Ward is an intern, but at the
Because
same
literally,
time,
I
like,
was just trying to think like who needs a head coach
Well-
or like who's on the verge of or
if I was
firing or
gonna put
something.
money on it, it would be Jeff Blashill in Detroit.
yeah, well, 100%.
And I'm not saying because they're awful. It's because people seem to have a distaste for Jeff Blashill in Detroit now. It's not that they're bad because they have no talent. It's they're bad, they have no talent, and this coach probably isn't helping.
Yeah.
So, and part of the
Well,
fact
whenever
that-
you're that bad,
well, Jeff Blashill too is a Mike Babcock, pack your shit, Babs, protege,
oh yeah, is he an
and
assistant there or something
he was the AHL coach when Babs was
in
there.
in Detroit.
And holy F, when
What's
when
their
Ba-
AHL?
Grand Rapids,
Oh yeah.
when Babcock first left, they played like some interviews of Blashill. It was like Babcock was talking. It was ridiculous.
They're the same person.
But like, I'm sure like obviously he's different, but I don't know. It seems like he's worn out their welcome or his welcome there. You never know. There's plenty of.
It's wouldn't surprise me. It's a pretty
Wouldn't-
short leash out there. Right?
I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa fired him, but at the same time, I don't imagine he wants to go to another team that doesn't have money because Florida really worked out
yeah.
with his cab ride after getting fired, stuff like that, right? So it's just stuff like that where you're like, I'm sure he's gonna have his pick of the litter too. But the other thing I thought about too, so Nashville just fired Peter Laviolette and hired John Hines.
Mhm.
Do you think a team like that is looking back and going, man,
Ah, fuck.
if we would have gone interim head coach, we could have had Gerard Gallant. Like
I
the
mean,
Flames have
right-
that option technically.
Like I don't know. Maybe they do a little bit, but like I'm like, obviously they have a pretty extensive like process, but it doesn't mean that they're not like, oh shit,
Would've been
I
nice-
didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, it would have been nice to interview that guy.
yeah, it would have been nice to sit down and see what he thinks.
I have a hard time believing that you wouldn't want to talk to the coach of the year
yeah,
that got the team of misfits to make playoffs and go to the Cup final.
yeah,
Right? Stuff like that where it's just like,
yeah.
that's a tough one.
I mean, you can go 3 coaches in a year, right? It's fine.
Could you imagine they fired John Hines?
We're just shuffling them out here.
This
It's
isn't
probably
working.
a lot of money for
You-
severance and whatever.
You didn't make the playoffs. Screw you.
Why did you not take this team
We were talking
to
about
the
that at
Stanley
work.
Cup final? You're fired.
We were talking about that at work. San Jose fires DeBoer, thinking that they gotta have planning probably that they have to pay out the rest of his contract eventually. A month later, another team goes, "We got you."
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Because as a reminder, coaches' salaries don't double up; they just pay the difference or pay the rest or whatever, right? So it's like Mike Babcock is under Leafs control technically still. So the Leafs are paying his current salary, but if a team hires him tomorrow
They
at
don't.
$2 million, $2 million comes off the Leafs pay, and then the Leafs pay the difference.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, he has $6 million a year left, and he gets hired, he gets now 6+.
Right.
It's for whatever reason.
Weird, kind of.
It's just like they were talking about this with Quenneville too and stuff when he got fired, and then hired with Florida because he got hired with Florida before his contract terminated in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get double pay. He didn't get a double dip, which to me is weird. But at the same time, teams have to give teams rights to talk to their coach, even if they're fired. So a team could say, "Hey, can we talk to Babcock?" And they'd be like, "Nah, fuck that guy." But right, like that in theory that could happen.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that you have potential to get money off your books, even in Toronto, I'm sure they'd love to get a $6 million off the books.
Anything that you can get off the books, right?
That's a lot of money to pay for literally nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's very weird with coaches. So anyway,
there's been a lot.
just don't forget that.
There's been a lot of coaches to get fired this year.
He's just 7 now.
Yeah, 7 out of 31. That's insane.
And the worst teams in the league have not fired their coaches.
Right, like there's gonna be more. Guaranteed, there's at least 1 or 2 more. So
if you look at the bottom to the top, Detroit still has their coach. Ottawa still has their coach. LA still has their coach. Just got their coach, but still have him. Anaheim still has their coach. Jersey fired. San Jose fired. Minnesota still has Brucey. Montreal still has Julian. Nashville fired. And then Chicago still has theirs. So it's just like, I would expect at least one of those teams in the bottom 4 to have fired their coach.
Yeah.
LA tried the player approach where they got rid of Kovalchuk, and he's lighting it up now.
Yeah, he's playing pretty good. In,
7 points
Montreal.
in 7 games going into yesterday. I don't know if he got points yesterday.
It's pretty impressive, man. Honestly, like I've seen a couple or like a little bit of them play, and like I watched like the OT where he won it.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome.
He looked, and I understand this is part of his problem, but he looked like he wanted to be there again.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Like, yeah, he looked hungry and
he didn't
excited.
give a flying fuck in LA.
I don't know why you would. Especially, honestly, like I don't blame him, really.
No.
Because you're a player who's nearing the end of your career. You want to fucking win, and you're on this fucking shit team.
Yeah. But he chose LA like an idiot.
Yeah, that's his fucking fault, so.
But that's the thing with the Montreal point of view, I guess. He gets first line ice time.
Yeah.
Just shows you how great the wingers are there. We were making fun of, at the game on Saturday, we were making fun of the Oilers' winger depth.
Yeah.
If you friggin' signed Kovalchuk for $700,000 and he is your first line winger, there's a problem.
That is a problem. And it's not taking anything away from Kovalchuk.
I understand Drouin's hurt, but wow.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even be in your top 6.
Well, like, that's one player.
Yeah. If he was your second line winger, you could argue that, if Drouin was healthy, he'd be our third line guy.
Yeah. And I feel like he's on most teams' second, maybe even third.
Drouin?
No, Kovalchuk. But who knows?
I don't know,
but
man.
It all depends also on like what Kovalchuk.
Well,
like which one?
If he gives a damn, then it's different.
Because like he's playing almost like pretty much a first liner right now. 7 points in 7 games.
Yeah.
You know, like point a game.
It's not bad.
Got an OT winner, and yeah, like it's just good
nice
to see him enjoying himself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean Montreal might make the playoffs. Like they're not totally out of it yet. They're not playing that great, but
They
you never
ju-
know.
They have just such a hard road ahead to make the playoffs.
That's the thing. If you're in that position, you're just like, you need to make up a lot of points on teams that are also winning.
Boston, Tampa, Toronto, Florida. Are they better than any of those 4 teams?
No.
No. Okay, so you have to beat Buffalo for the second wild card spot.
Yeah.
Along with
Like Columbus,
Carolina,
like,
Philly.
Yeah. I mean,
Tough sledding.
7 points back, so good luck to you. And I guess, yeah, you've played the most games in the fucking league. So,
So, right, it's
except for Arizona.
it's tough sledding.
Vegas. Yeah. No, it's probably,
But
I'm
like,
just saying,
there's
it's possible.
time, and they have Carey Price, who went, I wouldn't say legend, but he shut the Flames out
Yeah.
on Tuesday, I believe. So
He's had a relatively, like, a better year.
Price?
Yeah. Like, I feel like individually. I guess
his
he
stats
did.
are pretty
I guess
rough.
he did have that stretch, though, where he was, like,
Awful.
pretty bad, and he was, like, had some of those interviews where he was, like, playing like crap, basically.
Carey Price for the year is a 282 goalie, 282 average, and a 909 save percentage.
So, yeah, okay.
That's
not
not
terrible, but
it's not
great.
terrible. But first of all, he just got a shutout this week, so that
Mhm.
helps his save percentage a bit. But he's making 10 and a half.
That's the problem.
10
It's the
and
big
a half.
problem. I mean, it only takes one contract to make everybody fucking realize if it's a good or a bad idea, and that's a big benchmark contract right there.
Apparently not, because
Well-
Bobrovsky signs 10.
That is true.
And before everybody gets crazy, and I know people out, like, there's lots of media that are jumping on Bobrovsky and that being a terrible deal. Just hold on until next year.
Yeah, for sure.
If
Especially
he's bad,
elite goalie.
if
like
he's
that.
bad again next year,
Fair enough.
there
then
you go.
then
Jump.
lose your shit.
Jump on him, get on it.
Yeah.
But I've said it a million times. It takes goalies time to get
And it's also
acclimated to the team.
Yeah.
And as much as you don't want that to happen, it just seems like it's the case almost all the time.
plus it's Florida. They've not been known for a long time for their defensive prowess. It's
So
fucking
th-
Florida
that's-
Panthers.
That's
Dude.
another thing. This is the first season of Joel Quenneville, too.
That too, right? There's a system change, a big system change. And plus, like, this team is only getting better.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, give it a sec. I mean, it is scary though. Like, that's a lot of money.
Well, that
For a
so,
goalie.
So that breeds the next question.
Because you can get 2 goalies for that price. Legit.
Well, and most teams are doing that now.
yeah.
So that breeds the next question. Nicholas Backstrom signed an extension this week as well. 5 years, $9.2 million AAV.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
That's a fucking lot of money.
That is a lot, and they also have Braden Holtby as an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year.
It's also crazy to me because I feel like Kuznetsov kind of has taken him over a bit.
That's why
It's
I-
like that is a lot of money for possibly like your third best player at this point, right? And I know he's had all the history with Washington. He's been there for fucking ever. He's like up there in records of all kinds.
this is definitely the you got us a Stanley Cup contract.
Which is fair, man. Like for me, I'm like, congrats, dude. You got fucking paid, bro. And you're worth that money. Like you are right now.
But the question is, can they afford to keep Braden Holtby without moving a player?
And I mean, would you say they need to keep him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Like, because
But they have
I don't know either.
Samsonov or Samsonov. I don't know how you say it properly.
Right.
And he looks pretty solid. He could definitely be their goalie of the future. And if that's the case, then I think you have to walk away from Braden Holtby.
Yeah.
But Braden Holtby also got you the cup.
And he plays really good hockey in the playoffs, right?
Fuck yeah, he does.
Like every year he's been in. Actually, I guess there's the 1 year. Like,
Well, the cup run, he played behind Grubauer for the first 2 games of the cup run.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then they went on, like, they lost the 2 games against Columbus, and then they went on to win the next 4 and then
Right.
go nuts and win the rest of the way.
Right.
Right, so it's great. It's great, but if the cap doesn't go up next year, they only have 10 a little less than $10 million, or sorry, a little more than $10 million to play with.
For a team that's also kind of like transitioning
10 point,
in a
yeah.
way.
They have $10.4 million. They have, obviously, they have Samsonov on the books next year, but they have only 4 defensemen on the books. They have a couple of RFAs, but nothing crazy. They have 11 forwards on the roster signed for next year. They might be able to do it, but if Braden Holtby asks for like 10 or like
There's
9,
no way.
right?
Like, there's a way.
It's just like,
That's
would you
just
sign it?
Not worth it. That's the other thing too, is a team probably would sign him for that.
I think so. Again,
Right?
I think the team's taking that gamble.
Yeah,
And that's the
someone
thing,
would,
right? Like, that's like I don't think Braden Holtby's worth that.
yeah, me neither.
But if Backstrom is worth 9.2,
well, like, because what are they levying their value on
yeah, like if you think Nicholas Backstrom was worth 9.2 for 5 years
right now?
right now, like
Maybe 5 years ago.
maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But he's going to be 33 next year. That's 33 to 38 basically.
We all know what happens after like 35 for like
Yeah.
everybody mostly.
So it's just it breeds that question of are they just going to let Holtby go to free agency? Man, teams are going to be all over that.
That'd be a commodity and a half.
And I bet you money he'll be bad next year.
It's possible.
And by bad, I mean like less than normal.
Yeah.
Right? It's just it's so hard to deal with goalies like this, and it's hard to say. It's hard to walk away. The Leafs are going to be in the same position with Freddie Anderson at the end of next year,
Right.
where it's like, is he worth it? Hopefully, they have a goalie coming.
Yeah.
Right? So it's terrifying, especially with the fact that 10 goaltending is becoming a thing where you want your starting guy to play 50 games.
Yeah.
How do
it's
you
all
pay your
changing.
starter $10 million to play 50 games?
Yeah, and then how much you got left for a backup?
Yeah, to play 30.
Like maybe a couple
Good
million.
luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
And they've been, I think it's Overdrive that they've put it, or maybe it's Ray Ferraro that's put it this way, and I like it a lot. The NHL has done everything in their power so far to make it so that goalies can impact the game less and less.
Mm.
Right? And it's true. How often, compared to 5 years ago, does a goalie just steal a hockey game?
Yeah, it's not nearly as often.
There's a reason why scoring is where it's at.
Well, it's funny because there are quite a few shutouts still, but I'm sure that number's down.
But it's more or less, sorry, it's more a game of like 2-1 or 2-0 opposed to 7-0. Or, stuff like that where it's like
Right.
40 save shutout.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
Shutouts are generally team driven opposed to goalie driven now.
yeah, that's true.
And game style driven.
Yeah, because
Right.
you don't see like too many goalies popping off with like 7-8 crazy saves
Yeah.
in a game for
Like
a shutout,
huge saves.
which used to happen.
Yeah, right. So it's just
Yeah,
it's become a time where goalies, and there was kind of a time there too when the biggest goalie contract was like $6 million.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, you can't win with a high paid goalie. That was kind of like the Detroit Red Wing model. Kind of the Chicago Blackhawk model too.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden Hank
Well, like-
came out. Hank blew the highest paid goalie thing out of the water.
What is he, 9?
I think he's
Something?
9 something, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Carey Price knocked it out of the water. Bobrovsky came in just under.
And I think like there was never the market for goalies was just so much lower.
Maybe, yeah.
Or like market value more
Yeah.
so, Like
Well, it was kind of like
it was valued lower. For
well,
some
yeah.
reason.
Remember, kind of with Panarin and Marner last summer, where it was like, oh, if he signs for 10.5, that's the highest paid winger in the league,
Mhm.
or more than 10.5 because Kane, right? But it was like Marner signed for that 10.6, and it was like that's the most ever.
Mhm.
And then Panarin goes in 11.6.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, right? It's just shit like that where
Worth
it's like,
it.
holy man, like all of a sudden it's just like you bring the market up. defenseman PK Subban kind of did that,
Yeah.
right? So it's just
I guess
I don't know. I just don't know how you pay.
Suter deal as well.
I just don't know how you pay a guy that's going to play 50, 55 games, $10 million.
Well, and that's the thing too is like, I want to see at the end of this year. I guess I'm trying to think. Riddick it might be up there, but Talbot's been playing in quite a few games now. It's like the peak amount of games that a goalie plays now is like you said, it's like
Freddie Anderson
under
under
70.
65 again.
That's true. Freddie, he's like a fucking anomaly.
Well, it's not even that. It's just they have to because they don't have money to play Hutchinson.
That's the thing. Like the whole
'Cause
situation is like,
Hutchinson's not that good.
yeah.
But right
Yeah,
again.
he finally got a win though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he got 3 in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Woo.
Hutchie.
3 starts in a row, buddy.
That is one thing that
I think his first one was against the Wings. So actually, yeah, his first one was against the Wings, and they should have got him a shutout, but it was brutal, like a brutal giveaway.
good stuff.
Oh, the Dougie Hamilton.
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't even
Highlight.
talk about that, but
Oh.
like, there's nothing much to talk about other than he got fucking owned.
Dougie Hamilton got hit, and he fell back on his knee and ankle. Very similar to what Mitch Marner did,
Yeah, so,
but a lot more violent. He broke his fibula on his left leg,
which is
the smallest bone in your leg,
yeah, but like
but still.
I'm like thinking about the way he fell too. Hopefully, it's not like any kind of spiral fracture or anything,
Yeah,
right?
apparently it's very similar to what happened to Jordan Stahl a few years ago, which had Jordan Stahl out for 3 months.
Yeah. It's well, obviously, leg is the worst thing. Well,
Oof.
head's the worst thing.
I mean,
but, like-
knee's probably worse, but yeah, like a leg injury.
like anything
sucks.
on your leg is
Yeah.
just so debilitating. Like
Yeah.
you can't even work
How do you
out.
stay in
You
shape?
can't do shit,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just gonna sit on this bench and lift weights.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna lift some dumbbells while watching TV.
Just gonna lift a lot.
I'm just gonna 1 foot crutch run on my treadmill.
Yo, maybe he'll have a rocket slap shot when he gets back.
Hey, you never know. I lost 30 pounds of my legs, but they're all in my arms now. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully Dougie comes back. And
It
he's
was
good.
nasty.
That
If you
was-
haven't watched it
It's just
and you're squeamish, don't. If you want to see it, I'm sure you can find it on Twitter. It's ugh.
it's unfortunate too because he's having such
It's
a good
for-
season.
It's fortunate he didn't tear up his knee.
That's the advantage, obviously, of breaking a leg instead of something like that, right? Like twisting your knee and friggin' snapping some
Yeah.
ligaments and crap. It's better to break a bone than break some tendons and ligaments and shit.
Just the way he goes down on it too. It's just like there's.
Is nasty.
So the thing with Marner, and I think I said this too when Marner did it. Marner tried to catch himself. That's why he hurt himself.
Right.
Dougie had no choice. It was
Yeah,
just,
he was
his
just
leg
going
was under
down that
there.
way.
Good luck,
Yeah.
man. Ugh.
And we kind of saw earlier. Oh my god, that game's 5-1 now. Damn it, Tampa. Damn it. Anyway, Larkin. I don't know if he's hurt, but he took a interesting fall
Yeah,
just a
he
little bit
like,
earlier into the end boards. So
tweaked his ankle or something.
he's walking off, which, you know, not much more could go wrong for Detroit, but it still does.
I was kind of saying that too when it happened. It was like, this is why you don't come out and say I'm not going to the All-Star game if you vote me in, because you could just get hurt and now you look like an asshole.
Carmen's the bitch. So does he still get suspended?
Well,
For
no,
a
because
game.
so the whole suspension thing is either a
if
game
you're-
before or a game after you have to miss.
Oh, right. He's going to miss one anyway.
So if he misses it, he
Right.
misses it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like they call it a suspension, but they shouldn't call it a suspension. It's you
it's more
chose.
like a
You
mandatory rest day.
well, yeah, you chose to be injured
Yeah.
in theory. So miss a game,
like
be
a-
injured.
It's like a personal day.
Yeah,
You have to take it though.
yeah. Here you go. You're gonna not come to work tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? So it's.
And I guess they wouldn't get paid for that, would they? Or would they? I guess
see,
if that's a
I don't
suspension,
know.
maybe
Yeah.
they don't get paid for a day. Then.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Which, to be honest, maybe that is why they call it a suspension, so they
Maybe.
can hit them in the pocket.
Right.
Maybe I don't know.
And they're like, "Thank you, giving this to Seattle."
Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else we missed?
Nothing I can really think of, other than the West is a mess.
The West is a mess.
That's all there is to You know,
I
to
believe
say
it was a mess
uh,
last week too.
Calgary's in first in the Pacific, and they have a -9 goal differential. That's just something, you know.
Are they the only team that's in a playoff spot right now with a minus goal differential?
Edmonton as well, if that counts for you. But that's it. Like, just look at the goal differentials in the East, and then look at the West. You're like, huh.
See, Edmonton makes sense because they're in a wild card spot, like second wild card spot.
Yeah.
But Calgary being first in the division, or in their division,
Yeah.
is crazy.
It's like the Pacific is such a mess. Same with the Central, other than St. Louis, though. It's like,
But yeah, look at like the East plus 31, plus 33, plus 12, plus 34, plus 32, plus 15, plus 24 in the first wild card spot,
yeah.
and then plus 1 is your second wild card spot. Florida, who's outside the playoffs by 2 positions, is plus 15.
Yeah.
You have the West, which the West is still partly good. Plus 26, plus 31, plus 12, minus 9, plus 12, plus 10, plus 4, minus 2, plus 5, minus 12, plus 1. Like, San Jose minus 34, Anaheim minus 29, LA minus 30. Detroit still bringing up the rear,
Oh, yeah.
minus 81.
I want to see how high that gets, or low, I guess I should say. It's going to be bad. Like,
Yeah,
triple digits for sure.
They just really want to win the. What would it be, the
Lafreniere
No, what's the team golf tournament?
team golf tournament.
The like U.S. versus the world.
Oh, Ryder Cup.
Yeah, they want to win the Ryder Cup.
The NHL Ryder Cup.
Lowest team score.
That's what that means, right?
Yeah,
Look how much. Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
like
if
players-
you're golfing, that's a good score,
Yeah.
dude.
it's just like the players that want to win the Masters. It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to see who's the lead leader
Lead leaguer.
in minuses.
Oh, it's probably someone on Detroit.
Probably, but maybe it's not.
Maybe Devils or something. I mean,
Minus 35, Andreas Athanasiou.
ooh, fuck, that's bad.
Valtteri Filppula, also Detroit, minus 31. Mike Green, obviously Detroit, minus 25. Kevin LeBanc, San Jose, minus 22. He's
Right.
got a shot. He's got to have a good Sunday.
yeah. Get that Tiger Red on Sunday here.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is probably going to be a record year for the Masters.
For the NHL Masters.
Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's much else.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why there's not much hockey on, the NHL bye weeks start next week.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Leafs are on theirs, and
Yeah, next week is the next like 2.5 weeks are just like so like.
no hockey.
Where is all the games?
Because next weekend is the All-Star game.
Yeah,
The skills are on
Woo!
Saturday. The All-Star
Honestly,
game is on Sunday.
it's my only thing I like to watch now is legit skills.
Yeah.
I don't even.
We were
fucking
we were
really
talking about that at
care.
work today too. The skills competition is the best, and the game is just super meh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they brought all these players and were like, "We just want you to go to wherever the hell it is and do a skills competition," is that cool?
Right.
That would be so weird. Like, if they were just like
Oh, yeah, they have all the women in there this
Yeah,
year
the
too. It's interesting.
3-on-3 women's tournament thing. I don't know how that I didn't read into that. Is it gonna be on the day of the game they're having that, or the
I
day
don't
of
know.
the skills?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Maybe it's on like the Sunday.
Maybe that'd be the game day.
But like if they're smart, they would bring at least a couple women in again, do some skills. That's
Yeah,
kinda
I'm sure
cool.
they'll be at the rink for
Yeah.
the skills competition day.
That was intense watching. What was her name?
Coyle.
Yeah. That was the chick that did the skating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was intense. Cruised.
yeah. So
That'll be fun. Who's gonna win fastest skater, McDavid? Okay.
I'm really excited to see the competition for fast skater.
Me
'cause
too, because McKinnon.
McKinnon's gonna be quick.
McDavid. Who else? I wonder would do that.
Who else was I thinking? There's another guy or two that I'm
Oh, guaranteed.
Curious.
Like all of them are.
well,
fast,
Makar kind of. Well, I
He
guess
wouldn't
Makar's
get-
not there, but he's.
Oh yeah, right.
Quinn Hughes is pretty quick. I guess what's his name's not there either.
I guess
Klingberg and
Keller did it last time too, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
he'll
he'll
do it
probably
again.
He was pretty quick too.
So
Who got voted in last for Metro?
Metro.
For last man in.
I believe. Actually, I don't remember.
I'm trying to think. I don't think it was Point though, right?
No, Points in the Atlantic.
Or that's what I meant. Sorry, my bad. I always mix that up. I always think that Tampa and Florida are in the Metro.
So is
Atlantic.
Perron out of the Central? Why can you not just tell me? No, I don't want to see. I want to see who won the vote.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I was just like, if Point was in there, because I remember he was really quick too.
He might have.
I mean, he is killing it.
Oh, there you go. Skinner, Landis. No, that's last year.
Fuck it, whatever.
Oh, there we go. Perron, Oshie, Marner, Hughes.
So Oshie. Or wait.
No, Marner.
Jeez.
Right, I knew Marner was there. That's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perron out of the Central, Oshie out of the Metro,
I guess
Marner
Marner
out of the
kinda.
Atlantic, Hughes out of the Pacific.
Also, it's Toronto, so you know that there's like
A
a
lot of
million
people
people
voted.
voting 10 times a day.
I voted a lot. for Marner.
Which, like, he should probably be there anyway.
Yeah.
He was this would be his first, right? Or did he go last year? I think this would be his first All-Star
This might be
game,
his
right?
first.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think Oshie, Marner, and Hughes are making their first All-Star game appearance, which is kind of
Sounds about right.
surprising. I thought Oshie would have been there before.
He's never really been
He's never been that good all around, but just the shootout portion, I would have expected.
yeah.
Just to have made it. But yeah, anyway. Too much All-Star game talk every week. It's almost over. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Tune in.
And we'll catch you next Friday before the All-Star game. Woo!
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Tuning in.
Tuning in.